Hello everyone, this is going to be a different style of video compared to the other ones I make. So, have you ever felt the need to play some funny sounds in a voice chat? Well, this video is not about questioning what your needs are. Instead, this video is introducing a free and open source soundboard program I've made using Python, which I've named InsertSoundBoardHere. No account is required to use this. To get this to work, however, you will need virtual audio cable software. Two examples I can give here are virtual audio cable and VB cable. Whichever one of these you pick, you will need to have at least one virtual audio device set up before giving the program a go. The links to both of these can be found in the description. Now with that out of the way, to download InsertSoundBoardHere, you will need to go to the GitHub, which will also be in the description, and you want to download soundboard.exe. And after that's done, just run the exe. Now, you may notice two new YAML files that have been generated next to the exe. These files let the program remember what devices you've selected, what sample rate you've selected, and what sounds you've uploaded to the program, so keep them around. To upload a sound, click on the upload button and select the sound of your choice. The sound you uploaded has now been added to the sound list on the left side of the screen. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to upload two more sounds. After a sound's been uploaded, you can make changes to its settings by clicking on it on the sound list. You can then give the sound a keybind, change its volume, change its various settings, which I'll explain later on, or just delete the sound if it's not to your liking. To change the name of the sound, just go over to Boom, for example, clear it out and name it Vine Boom, for example, and then click enter. To give the sound a keybind, click on the add keybind button of your corresponding sound and give it a keybind of your choice. For Vine Boom, I've given it numpad 5. And then when I press numpad 5 on my keyboard, boom! The sound plays! I'm now going to try that again with mouse and baked beans. And then when I press numpad 1 and 9 on my keyboard,
Number 19, mouse in baked beans.
The sound plays. Now you may have noticed that mouse and baked beans was kind of loud, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it down to around 30% volume and try again.
Number 19, mouse in baked beans.
Now, I'm going to explain to you people how the overlap, the pausable and the loopable switches work. For overlap, I'm going to use the Vine Boom sound. By default, if you play a sound while it's playing like this, it will stop abruptly and go back to the beginning. If, however, you activate overlap, and if you press the keybind while it's playing, this happens. Now, as you just saw, if overlap is activated and if you click on the keybind while it's playing, it will go straight to the beginning and play immediately. For the pausable switch, I'm going to test it with mouse in baked beans. So, if pausable is on, activating the keybind while it's playing will have it pause at that exact moment and will resume at that exact moment if you press it again, like so.
Number 19, mouse in baked beans.
And finally, the loopable switch. This basically allows the sound to restart playback instantly when it reaches the end of the file, like so.
Number 19, mouse in baked beans. Number 19, mouse in baked beans. Number 19.
There we go. Now, to delete a sound, click on the sound of the sound list that you don't like. So for example, this, and then, I'm sorry, we need to give it sad music as it goes. I'm going to give it keybinds 3 and 4. And now, but yeah, as you saw, clicking delete will just remove the sound from the sound list. Nothing really special. So with the soundboard tab thoroughly covered, I think it's safe to proceed now to the settings tab. This tab is essentially the backbone of the entire program. In this tab you can select the sound API, your input device, the extra device which I'll go to later, your output device, the sample rate, and your soundboard device. With the sound API, you are given 3 options for Windows: MME, Direct Sound, and WAS API, with WAS API performing the best out of the bunch. MME offers the best compatibility for all the devices, but has a greater deal of latency compared to WAS API. And Direct Sound, that is pretty much a depreciated sound API. It's only really useful if you're somehow still using Windows XP to this day. For the purposes of this tutorial, however, I'm going to be using MME. Now I'm going to demonstrate the functionality of the stream settings. On the left we have the program here, and on the right we have OBS. Now before you do this step, you have to make sure you have at least one virtual audio cable at the ready. For me, the virtual audio cable I'm going to use is output. To make sure that it works on almost any program, set output, or the virtual audio cable that you've created, as your default input device and default communications device too. Now, to get the stream running, click on your input device and click the mic that you usually use. In my case, it'll be the Yeti Nano, so I'm going to select that. For the output device, you would want that to be the virtual audio cable that you've created, so in my case it's going to be output. We can still see here that even on OBS it's still not running. For this reason, you will need to select your sample rate. For my instance, I'm going to set it as high as possible to test it. And as you can see here, the mainstream status has turned green, and you can also see that the mic and aux bars are lighting up in OBS. You can pick any sample rate you desire from this list, whether it be 48 kHz, or if you want to be really funny, you can sound like this. Okay, I'm going to set it back up to 192 kHz. Now, you may have noticed that despite the stream working, there's a problem. If I try executing mouse and baked beans like this...
Number 19, mouse in baked beans.
You can see here that mic aux is not really lighting up with the sound data as you saw with desktop audio. What you need to do in this instance is you have to select this and then select your output virtual audio cable. This part in particular, this menu, will always be an MME because when I tested it with Direct Sound and WAS API, it caused problems. So, if I click on output, you can see that soundboard status lights up as green. And then when I play the keybind again, I'm going to mute the Yeti Nano and pressing the button just to demonstrate.
Number 19, mouse in baked beans. Number 19, mouse in baked beans.
But yeah, as you saw, the sound now plays through the output device. And finally, I'm going to demonstrate the functionality of the extra device. Now, this is only really useful if you have extra virtual audio cables lying around. But here's the use case I like to use them in. So, what I do is I go into the audio mixer, and for something like Firefox, which has a YouTube video open, I click on it and set the default output device to multimedia.
You are going to do once you go inside the store.
Okay, I'll call you back once I get inside the store.
No, don't hang up, don't hang
Okay, I'll call you back once I get inside the store.
No, don't hang up, don't hang Why are you disconnecting the call?
You want me to disconnect the call, you said? You want me to hang up?
No!
Steve?
And that concludes the demonstration of InsertSoundBoardHere. Comment down below what you think. If you end up using the program, let me know how I can improve it. Or if you're feeling really generous, consider donating to my Ko-fi, which I will also link in the description.